All right. Hello, knockouts. Tonya TKO here, and I am jumping in to make this video. I want to talk about Dave Chappelle. Let me know if you want me to turn on the phone lines. I'm making this. My hair's all caught up on these little metal things. Okay. Let me know if you want me to turn on the phone lines so that we can have a conversation. I saw a person. I saw a person whose thoughts and ideas I've respected make a post about this Dave Chappelle comedy special on Netflix, right? And she was saying, she was laughing and the jokes were inappropriate and she feels bad for laughing, but she was laughing. And I was like, this is an intelligent woman. Excuse any gloss you see on my face. Let me know how my volume is. So you all want to know what it is that he said. So I did not watch the whole special. After he made this joke, I kind of tuned out. So he opens up his special talking about Anthony Bourdain's suicide. And then he started getting a little dicey. He started talking about Michael Jackson's accusers, right? And the jokes that he was saying about Michael Jackson's accusers were, basically he said, if you're going to get touched, it'll be an honor to be touched by Michael Jackson. And he said, first of all, he said he didn't believe the victims. A lot of people don't. I have heard conflicting accounts from the victims, the alleged victims, right? However, he started minimizing, being touched. He's like, some of you are getting touched by people in your family and nothing, something, but this is the king of pop. You could go to school the next day and be like, the king of pop, suck my, And I was like, well, when are we getting to the funny part? Because I don't think that that's funny. I personally don't think it's funny, right? Then he went into R. Kelly. And when he started talking about R. Kelly, I got nauseous, and I tuned out. I clicked out of it, and I haven't gone back. And I wanted to try to finish watching it before I made a video about it. But I feel like, if Netflix sees that people are dropping off of the broadcast, that will be an indication to them that, I don't know. So let me tell you the joke that got me to click out, right? Let me tell you the joke that got me to click out. And I'm going to turn on the phone lines because I want to hear from you all, because I know that you all are going to have something to say about this as well. So I'm going to turn on the phone lines, and as soon as I turn on the phone lines, I'm going to tell you all what was the joke that made me tune out. So go ahead and thumbs up the video, share the video with a friend, share it on your page, invite some people to come over and talk about this as well. Yeah, so did he tell a lie? No, there were many lies that were told. And you all know that I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And as a hypnotherapist, I know that even if we say that we're joking, the ideas still penetrate, the ideas still go into your mind and into your head. And especially when you have a lot of people, a lot of energy in one location. Like, you see how people who go to these hypnotist shows, there's an energy in the crowd where people get swept up in it, and it makes people more susceptible to messaging. I'm sure you've seen some of your friends or people that you may know in a crowd where a hypnotist starts doing his thing, and then your friend goes up there and they get swept up in this hypnotic state, and they are very heavily implanted with suggestion. They start doing what the hypnotist says. They forget their names, they forget numbers, so it's not just these are jokes and he's a comedian. As a person who implants ideas myself in a hypnotherapeutic sense, I know that there's a lot more to what it is that we say. So I got the phone lines on 323-488-3149. I want to hear from you all, the people who saw this special. So the joke that made me tune out was when he said, and put up a one if you can hear my volume okay, because I have the AC blowing and I know that there could be a lot of noise. So let me know if you can hear okay. All right? Okay, so you can hear okay. All right, so the joke that made me tune out was when he talked about R. Kelly. And he was like, R. Kelly was in a new tape. Now, there's certain words that I can't say on YouTube because they have live web crawlers that search for certain words, and then they put your video in the adult category or demonetize it and all that type of stuff. So so basically he said R. Kelly was in this tape with a 14-year-old girl, and he was saying over and over and over again, I love this 14-year-old cat. I love this 14-year-old cat, right? And he was like, you got to give your lawyers or somebody something to work with so that you say one thing, because he's like, the amount of times that he said it in this thing, that no lawyer could really defend this, because he says it over and over, repeats it over. The girl says it out loud. You love this 14-year-old cat, don't you? You love this 14-year-old cat, right? And then, so he was like, you got to give your lawyer something to work with. And he was like, you got to say, I love this 36-year-old cat. I love this 36-year-old cat. I love this 36-year-old cat. Meanwhile, you know what you're thinking, and she knows what you're thinking. But, on the tape, the lawyer could at least be like, well, he thought that she was 36. And then this is the part where I was like, he says, listen to what it is that he says. He says, but then the jury would have known that he was lying because ain't no such thing as good 36-year-old cat. This is what he says. This is a 44-year-old man. A woman who's 36 is still 10 years younger than him. So if 36-year-old cat being good is the lie, but 14-year-old cat being good is not the lie, I got disgusted because there was a kind of condoning, a sort of, well, 14-year-old cat is kind of good, and 36-year-old cat, how is, and then so he's saying these things out loud while these people are in a frenzy laughing in this state of jubilation all around these people, and the ideas begin to penetrate. When you start making jokes about those sorts of things, when does it cease to be a joke? And he talked about the cancel culture right before he told these jokes, and then when he told that joke, he was like, it's your fault for clicking on this video. You clicked on it, you saw my face and clicked. Like, we were supposed to know that that is what he had in mind, making these sorts of jokes. And so he talked about the cancel culture, how people, whenever you say anything that they don't like in any span of time, no matter how much else you've done, they'll just cancel you. You know what, the thing is, I'm not like, oh, cancel Dave. I'm not in the showy part of cancel Dave Chappelle. I was just hurt. I was hurt by him talking about a 14-year-old child being victimized by a grown man, and then making the joke that age-appropriate intercourse is not good. And I was like, I was hurt. And I got disgusted. And it's like when Chappelle came back, he was different. He came back with his eyes glassy and looking like he's addicted to some sort of substance. And then this is the first special that he's come out with, and he starts coming out with these jokes. I've heard that he was also joking about Kevin Spacey's accuser, and a lot of other things that may have been inappropriate. I don't know, because I just kind of tuned out. It's like the Dave Chappelle of the past, he challenged politics. He he was fun loving. It was like his jokes were. Oh, that's my. Oh, phone lines are open. 323-488-3149. He went against the status quo in a way that brought up truth. So it's like some of you are like, did he lie? Yeah, saying that 36-year-old vagina is, oh, I said, well, hopefully YouTube doesn't dislike that word, but to say that 36-year-old cat is that is not good at all. I mean, I'm still thinking about how Chris Rock back in the days said when Janet Jackson's bosom flew out, that 40-year-old, that 20-year-old bosom is community bosom, but 40-year-old bosom, that's house bosom, that's for your husband. And Chris Rock, he camouflages a lot of really toxic ideas and behaviors as jokes. He still has people going up to black women talking about, is that a HOE uniform, right? Hold on for just one moment. Oh, they got disconnected. Call back. He still have people going up to black women talking about, oh, you wearing an HOE uniform but don't expect to get treated like a HOE. Meanwhile, black men who are wearing the thug uniform who get shot down in their back as they're running from the police, or who people think that they have a GUN and all this other stuff, that we're not calling baggy clothes and hoodies and all this other stuff the thug uniform. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, these African American male comedians come out and they tell these really toxic jokes, and then so now Dave Chappelle has come out and he's pushed the envelope even further down. And am I saying cancel Dave Chappelle? I'm not saying that. I know what that I'm going to do what's right for me. I don't need to rally other people to do anything. I know that I'm disgusted by what it is that I heard. I know that I don't feel like the things that he was saying are laughing matters. So I tuned out. I didn't go back in, and I hope that there were other people who clicked out soon enough for Netflix to realize that that was a bad gamble. And I just want everybody to do what it is that they feel is right. I ain't started no crusade against the man. I just know that I'm disgusted. Not even disgusted, like disgusted is an outward active feeling. I was hurt. I was hurt. And I felt, I don't know if betrayed is the right word, because I've always seen Dave Chappelle as this avant-garde comedian who really makes you, like, he really makes you think about some really uncomfortable truths while you're laughing, right? And the stuff that he was saying, that somebody should consider it an honor if they were touched by the king of pop. Now, personally, from what it is that I did a video about it, and I researched behind the scenes, and from what it is that I saw, and even what it is that I felt, I didn't feel that the people who came out 10 years after Michael Jackson's death to talk about that stuff, I don't feel as if they were, what's the word? I felt that they were disingenuous. That's me personally. And people say stuff like, oh, believe survivors. Well, when he was alive, and some of those same people, you have how they said, no, this didn't happen, the contradictions, the own feeling in my intuition, and all of that other stuff. So people can do whatever it is, even though I don't personally believe them. I'm going to err on the side of I don't know. I'm not going to say he didn't do anything. I'm not going to say that he did. I'm going to err on the side of I don't know. It's he's not here to defend himself, so I don't know. However, with this whole Dave Chappelle and the joke that he made with R. Kelly and the 14-year-old girl and the 36-year-old cat, I felt hurt from what it is that I've known of Dave Chappelle. He was a beloved comedian to me, where remember, because he made those skits about whatever the guy's name was, who was a blind black guy who was a KKK member, and I said another word that YouTube is probably going to troll through the video and find. I think we've gone overboard now at this point. And so the guy was like, I hate, N-words. And meanwhile, he was an N-word. He took off his, well, he wasn't an N-word. He was black. He took off his hood, and people were like, oh my God. And his wife divorced him. And then so he made jokes like satirical jokes. And then so Patina's saying 10 years the FBI investigated MJ, cleared that he never hurt a kid. Listen, like I said, I didn't believe the allegations myself, but that's another story. People are free to believe whatever it is that they choose to believe. But with Dave Chappelle, like I've seen him as a beloved comedian who was a champion for the people and used satire and comedy as a way to really talk about some tremendous deep societal truths. But the stuff that I heard him saying, some of the stuff was, make you think, but then he joked about encouraging a person to take their life. I mean, on the surface, you could get a chuckle out of that, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And somebody's saying it's not just Dave that makes jokes about Michael Jackson or about abused R. Kelly situation. Okay. How many? I don't know these other comedians, and I don't have a beloved feeling for some of them. I'm disgusted by Chris Rock. I'll never watch another one of his comedy specials because he is a lie. Chris Rock is a lie, and he purports very abusive, toxic ideas as jokes, saying stuff like the only people in society who are loved with no conditions are women and children, women and babies. Really? Tell that to a disabled woman. Tell that to a fat woman. Tell that to a woman that's too dark-skinned or too nappy-haired. So I'm disgusted by Chris Rock. I got nothing for him. So according to what it is that you're saying, it sounds like you're indicating that because somebody else may make a joke, that I should be okay with what's this guy's name, making any type of joke he chooses because other people chooses to make jokes about that. You know what? And you're being a troll. Pink Secrets, can you put Eva inside of timeout? Because this person is trolling. I'm not interested in this disruption right now. I'm not interested. Thank you. You got fast fingers, faster than I could have done it. Thank you. People, give a clap for our moderator, Pink Secrets, in the house, handling business. Thank you. Thank you. Put some claps up for her. Thank you. Thank you. So just because other people make some jokes doesn't mean that anybody that I should be. This is like the same argument that people make about, oh, Harvey Weinstein abused people, so why are we upset about Bill Cosby or whomever? Why are we upset when Kevin and this and these other Caucasian fellows when they've done it, so why are we upset? How long have you been thinking that, one, you can't be upset about more than one situation? How long have you been thinking that you can't be upset about more than one situation at once? Two, how long has anybody been thinking that you cannot have a special amount of connection to a subject matter that directly affects people who look like you? And then three, how long have we been thinking that a person can't have a special connection towards wanting to defend people who are underprivileged, defenseless, and the least protected in society? So personally, to me, and so, listen, Caucasian women in this country are protected. I have no doubt in my mind that the men who assail against Caucasian women, that when the Caucasian women raise the dust up about it, I have no doubt in my mind that those people will be brought to justice. A young African American girl from a disenfranchised background, not so much. I don't have the same faith that without our protestation, that those same young ladies would receive the same amount of protection from society. And not even from her own community. Look at how we're speaking about this. So I just wanted to bring that up. Phone lines are open. I'll take a phone call or two before I jump out of here. And so Leah is saying, I think Dave and Kanye are similar. They got a lot of money and became out of touch. Well, who knows? Who knows? Who knows what was really going on? Like, your desire for 14-year-old cat, that's not something that's something that was hidden in there before. Who knows how he really felt, because he was on a network where he said that people would call him into the office and be like, you can't say certain things on air. So who knows what he would have been saying and making jokes about. But I do know that he seemed fun-loving before. He seems like the drunk uncle now. He was fun-loving, avant-garde, and forward-thinking. He seemed like he used comedy for freedom fighting. That's the way I saw it. Not so much freedom fighting, but really for promoting or getting an idea out there that's little discussed, a truth that's little discussed. Now he seems like the inappropriate alcoholic uncle at the barbecue that nobody lets their child sit near. That's who he seems like to me now. What happened to him, we don't know. There's so much speculation about what happened. So much speculation. But no one wants to call in and speak about this. If no one wants to call, I'm gonna cut the video short and jump out of here. If you do want to call in, the phone number is 323-488-3149, and then we'll talk about your how what you experience attempting to watch this. So I missed that. Someone said maybe he does not have the right people behind him now. You know, he seems like the type of person, because remember, he took that 15-year break from the industry. So he seems like the type of person that controls what it is that he wants to do and what it is that he doesn't want to do. Dave Chappelle is a clone. His own cousin got on YouTube and disguised her voice, stating that she called his cell phone. He picked up, and when she said, hey, this is your cousin, he hung up on her. Oh, maybe you meant clown. I mean, well, not everybody wants to speak to every cousin. You know what I mean? The real Dave Chappelle is gone. Who knows? And then the Paul Mooney situation. You know what? I saw something very briefly about the Paul Mooney situation. And, wait, Dave Chappelle is married to an Asian woman? Hold on. Let me Google this right now. I never thought about who he was married to before this moment. I never thought about that. Let's Google this. Dave Chappelle wife. You all are saying... Wow. She looks kind of tight. She's a dark-skinned, she's a dark-complected Asian woman. Wow. Wow. So they married in 2001. That's a long time. They've been married for 18 years. Why are so many of you saying he's a clone? Why are you all saying he's a clone? You think MK Ultra got him? I'll show you all some pictures of his wife if you haven't seen her already. I didn't know. I did not know. Wow. I did not know. Let's see. So here's a picture of his wife. Oh my lord, she tin tin. She tin. Look at the ooh. NASA tall too. So that's his wife. Let's scroll. So that's them together. That's her. Tinny tin tin. Look at that. She the size of a piece of chewing gum. That's them. And then there's a picture of there was a picture of their family. I don't see it on this webpage. But yeah, Lord of mercy. So yeah, this was wow. You know what? Let me go to the images on just Google Images. Why is everybody saying he's a clone? I thought the person meant clown, but you all are really meaning to say clone. All right. So here are images of I don't know, this new camera does not get in focus quickly. So these are images of her, and it looks like they have a bunch of kids together. Where's that picture? So it looks like they have a bunch of, it's not getting in focus. It's not getting in focus. It looks like they have a bunch of kids. Wow. I need to hear why you all are saying he's a clone. Somebody call in and explain to me why you feel that he's a clone. Somebody who has a really good grasp on why you feel he's a clone. Because I thought you all meant clown, but you all are really meaning clone. So somebody call in 323-488-3149, and then we shall jump out of here. I just wanted to talk about what it is that I experienced when I attempted to watch. Okay, 323. Also, Pink Secrets put it in the thing. So write this down and save it in your phone, because this is the number going forward. 323-488-3149. 323-488-3149. You know what? I should put it inside of the description of the video, since that is the... Oh, goodness. I lost the call drop. Sorry. Here, I'm going to try. All right. Hello? Oh. Yeah, hey, you're on the air live with the Tonya TKO show. I'm trying to, hold on, I need to connect it to, the Bluetooth is not connected.
Okay.
Okay, say something now, let me see if I can hear you. Hello? We're having some small technical difficulties. Let me just make sure that it is connected. It says it's connected. So, oh, let me turn up the volume and see. It's up. The volume is up. Let me remove the device and then reconnect it. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so for some reason the sound wasn't coming through before. Let me click on pair now. And let's see if we can add a Bluetooth device. Okay, here we go. And let's see if it connects. Thumbs up the video, 225 people on. All right, so now you should be on the loudspeaker. Say something now.
Hello?
Okay, yes, you are loud and clear. All right, so why do you feel Dave Chappelle is a clone?
Oh, I don't think that Dave Chappelle is a clone. I don't know who's saying that he's a clone. I think it's just some type of weird conspiracy.
Oh, okay.
I will say, though, yeah, I've heard that. But I will say that I think what's happening is he's trying to appeal to a mass audience that just is very, it is a bit old school. However, it's very insensitive of what's really going on in the world. And I think like, I understand what he's trying to do. I understand that you're trying to see humor in tragedy. However, some things are just not funny, especially when there's things that are not hitting close to home. Because if that was your 14-year-old daughter, or your niece, or if that was your mother, or another person in your family, you would be offended by these things.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I think honestly, there's kind of a divorcing of people and events that or tragedies that happen to them and their actual humanity. And
Mm,
it's a bit insensitive and a bit callous to make light of things that
okay.
are an actual human experience,
Yeah.
and you're trying to make it funny, but you have to acknowledge the person's reality, which is not your own.
Yeah. 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 Well, you know what? Thank you for that input. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Okay. Well, you give your name before you jump off.
I'm Leah. I'm the panda down there somewhere. It's like 30 something. I can't remember
Oh, wonderful. Well,
my.
thank you. Thank you for calling in, Leah. All right.
Thank you.
All right. So she doesn't buy the clone bit. She thinks that's a conspiracy. I want to hear from somebody who believes that he is a clone. I want to hear why you think he's a clone. What evidence do you have of this? Is it a conspiracy theory or is there truth to it? And if there is truth to it, how so? All right. You are on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hi, this is Kimberly.
Hey, Kimberly. You got to turn down the volume on your computer.
I
So,
don't have the volume up, but my family is talking. I'm in the car, so I don't know if you can
oh,
hear me. I'm talking to Tonya TKO on the line. My sister knows who you are.
hey,
Okay,
sis.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You did call him Dad. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to talk really quick because I'm in the car. But this is the thing. I do think he is a clone. The reason I think he's a clone is because, when he did the whole Chappelle show back in the day and all that, and then he left because it got too much pressure and it was too much money. I think at that point in time, that's when something happened. He disappeared for a while, and when he came back, who we're dealing with now is not the real Dave Chappelle. It is not him. I don't know if he's back in the underworld, like maybe he's under the earth somewhere in the middle of the earth or something, but he is no longer present. And the Dave Chappelle we're dealing with now is not him. It's basically he's being controlled by the system. He's like a robot, and he's soulless, and he's basically just being controlled by the powers that be. It's not really him anymore. I can
Okay.
tell energetically it's not him.
Yeah, his energy is off. So you think he went to a carnival and was looking in the mirror, and then the mirror opened, and now he's underground somewhere walking the steps. You think that's what's
Pretty
happening?
much, pretty much. I mean, I feel that about like Oprah and a few other people that they have been wiped out, and we're now dealing with other versions of them that are not really them.
Oh, how interesting. All right. Well, you know
Yeah.
what? We'll let you get back to the car. So thank you for that input. Somebody wants to know
Okay,
what you're
thank you.
smoking.
Bye,
What?
Tonya TKO. And my
What?
sister just said bye, Tonya TKO. She loves you too.
We hear her. I love you all as well. Ask your sister how she feels about Dave Chappelle.
Ask her what now?
How she feels about this Dave Chappelle special.
Okay, Noogie, what do you think about Dave Chappelle? She's asking you, what do you think? Hold on. Am I speaking to Tonya TKO?
Is this Noogie?
Tonya, I love her. Yes, this is Noogie. This is Noogie. Well, I don't agree with my sister, so it is what it is. But listen, I saw Dave Chappelle's comedy special this week and loved it. Loved it. Enjoyed it. It was entertaining. And I think we all have different phases in life. We all elevate at different times and to different levels. And to me, this is just where he is right now. That doesn't make him soulless. It just means that this is where he's resting in this space. And so give him time to figure things out. It's different. It's new. But I'm not the woman that I was at 20. I don't sound like that woman. I don't sound like that woman that I was at 30. And so in the same way that I'm allowed to evolve and change, Dave Chappelle is allowed to do the same thing. And I think that's just exactly what's happened.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so the joke, see, because I cut it off after he made that joke about R. Kelly and 36-year-old cat. What were your thoughts about that particular joke?
I found it entertaining. I found all the jokes entertaining, given the scope, because the beauty of comedy is to be able to take some things that maybe are not as comfortable and to be able to find that in life, ultimately, there's humor in it. And it doesn't mean that I believe that he has an insensitivity to what happened. It just means that in the same way that I can take something that was dark or serious about my life that may have happened 5 or 10 years ago, and today I can look back and laugh on it. I think that that can be said about most things that happen to most people. There's a dark side to comedy, and he's bringing it out there that we can acknowledge that something has happened that wasn't, that clearly, is not right. And at the same time, there are still some aspects about the idea of someone just so blatantly out in the open, like being able to do that with such broad, is almost there's something that's comical about it, because it's just so unthinkable.
So in comparison, you think that 14-year-old cat is better than 36-year-old cat, because ain't no such thing as good 36-year-old cat.
Well, what I'm saying is, Tonya, that I just don't think it's that deep. That I took the joke and wanted to analyze it to such a degree that I needed to be offended by it. I simply took it to be that it's a joke, and I wanted to be entertained. I wanted to laugh. I wanted to take my thoughts off of the problems that I was thinking about, off of the weight of the world that I had gone through that day, and that actual show just allowed me to do it. And I walked away from the special feeling lighthearted, feeling like I had enjoyed myself, and I just don't take the jokes so deeply that I want to analyze them. And now it could be because I've never been in those situations, and so maybe that's why I look at it differently. But it wasn't, not everything has to be analyzed so deep. But yeah, Tonya, reality, I could take everything that anyone says and tear it apart and analyze it to the point where I could find something to be offended about. And that's just not where I am. When I go to a comedy show, I want to enjoy myself.
Yeah, so you said that you've never been in any of those situations. 40% of girls in the African American community will be inappropriately touched, handled, or forced in an intimate way. 40% even before the age of 18. And so even if you haven't been in any of those situations, I'm sure you know people who have.
Mm.
And so
right, yeah, and so I don't find that joke that he made about the 36-year-old cat to be so specific that I channeled what happened to someone else and then now sort of attach his joke to them, because I think everyone's story individually is just that. It's their own story, and I'm not going to lump it into a category. I'm going to give their story the merit that it deserves and the attention that it deserves based on what they're telling me. And so for that,
let's pivot, right? Let's pivot. Because he made these jokes. You said that you found the jokes to be entertaining. That there's a dark side of comedy. However, if he was, because comedy does come from a brokenness. Like they say that comedians are very depressed, and that they use comedy as a way to shift their pain and make a joke about it. But was this his pain that he was shifting into a joke? Was he talking about his own pain, or was he looking at a very serious situations that are very painful for people and creating quote unquote humor out of that?
Well, that's a question you could probably ask him. I wouldn't know, but I know back when I was watching Eddie Murphy and he was doing his Raw special, he had a lot of homophobic jokes, and I'm sure back then I laughed about it as well. Again, I could just as easily go back, and because I have friends who are, gay and lesbian, bisexual, and things of that nature, I could go back and be very offended about that. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that we are able to find humor in some of the dark sides of society. Well, although I'm very offended by Donald Trump, I'm very enheartened by being able to listen to comedians who talk about him. Because he's depressing. But I love the fact that someone can.
Of course. I'm so sorry. I had to put you on mute real quick because I want to get your sister's point of view, but then I also want to make this last statement. So part of the issue is the consent factor, right? A 14-year-old cannot consent. The children who may or may not have been in inappropriate situations with Michael Jackson cannot consent. You know, a 14-year-old boy who was accosted inappropriately by Kevin Spacey, they cannot consent. So to make jokes about unprotected parts of society who cannot consent, like a homosexual person who is of age can consent to the type of relationships and the type of touch that they get. However, if they are not able to consent and to make jokes about that lack of consent, I think that that's when we start crossing the line. Especially, you know, so that's my take on it. So, Noogie?
Yes, my sister, now she's pumping the gas. I mean, my take is that if it's not your brand of comedy, then it's just not for you and you shouldn't listen to it. But he's got a right to say it.
Yeah, and when I heard enough of what it is that I heard, I turned the special off and I let my lack of click or my lack of follow through be the communication that I needed to send to Netflix. That's my communication, turning it off.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't have my Netflix subscription anymore. I used my friend's account to listen to it, but you know, I turned off Netflix after Monique. I'm riding with my girl Monique. I'm waiting for her to get her money.
Okay, thank you.
Get paid.
Thank
That's
you
right.
You
want me to put my sister on the phone, or are you good?
Yeah, just to follow back up with her, and then we're going to take the next call.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure. Okay. Hello.
Are you the older sister or the younger one?
You would think I was the younger one, but I'm actually the older one. But she can articulate herself way better than me.
Oh, no. So what are your thoughts on what your sister was saying about how she walked away from it enthused and happy and feeling lighter?
Well, this is the thing, and I haven't seen the show, unfortunately, so I can't comment on it. I just know that in the past several years since I've seen him energetically, he does not resonate with me anymore.
Okay.
So, I have not watched the show, so I can't speak to that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for calling in. It was a great call. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Take care. Bye.
I love you both. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
All right. So, there we have it. Sister against sister in the car. So, let's see. You on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hello, hi Tonya.
Hey,
this is Carolyn.
You got to make sure your computer's down and that your phone is up. So, what are your thoughts? We just heard from a sister duo with opposing views.
I heard that lady.
Huh?
I heard that lady. I heard her. That look, none of that makes any sense. She want to be for Monique. That is so crazy compared to what she's saying about Dave Chappelle. Can you hear me?
I can't. Tell us your name.
Carolyn.
Okay, Carolyn. Sorry, I forgot it real quick. Go ahead.
Anyway, this thing about Monique, you know, it doesn't line up. It doesn't line up what she's saying about how she's trying to support Monique, but at the same time, what she's saying is this disgusting stuff going on with Dave Chappelle. I haven't watched the special, but I've been seeing this pedophilia coming.
Yeah. The phone just cut out. I don't hear anything. Hello? Let me make sure that let me turn this back on and see if we could get some volume. Okay, hello?
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, let's just skip back to when he first came back from Africa. Well, actually, let's start before that. Before that, Dave Chappelle was never really a big, we weren't really big on Dave Chappelle in the black community. He was more like the white man's comic. We just we just accepted his stuff as being funny and supportive of him being successful. That's where that was. Yeah, he was funny, but he wasn't our kind of funny, not necessarily.
Really?
So let's not, no, not necessarily. That baked high and all that stuff. We all know who grew up in that era.
Dave Chappelle was never really our cup of tea. We were very supportive until he started doing those shows on TV when he was doing his skits. That's when really he kind of opened up to us in our homes in this community. Now, let's fast forward to when he went to Africa. The whole cloning thing comes to the conversation because it is not a secret. MK Ultra, mind control, and all of these things that they do in Hollywood, that is not a secret. And we know that when these people go away a lot of times, like Kanye, Britney Spears, we all know they go away and they come back different. We know that. So that is where the whole cloning situation, the reality of cloning, not a person standing here, and duplicating as a clone going underground and all that stuff. When you actually go into the research and what should be mainstream knowledge by now, MK Ultra, mind control, all that stuff. Now, I'm not directly saying that, but the Black conscious community did do some investigation. And they got in contact with his actual cousin, the same cousin that he used to talk about all the time. And he said that is not his cousin that came back from Africa. And so that confirmed to a lot of people, not me necessarily because I wasn't there, but that confirmed to a lot of people that they changed Dave Chappelle. Now let's move up to the Netflix special. The first one he did when he came back, it wasn't even all that great. That is where the conversation comes from when people were saying, "Are you talking?" Because sometimes I know. Sometimes.
No, I'm listening. I'm hearing what you're saying.
Okay. For the Netflix special, that the one that he did when he first came back, yeah, it made splash, but it wasn't really all that funny, and he hinted at pedophilia. In that, we know that they use certain people to spearhead some agenda. We know this. And so you can't come, we already know Netflix is ridden with pedophilia anyway. You can't really hardly watch a movie without them going straight into some sort of pedophile joke or something. You can't really catch much on there. And so this whole pedophile thing, I don't know where he did it, this whole pedophile thing, I already seen it coming because the first special he did when he came back from Africa, he was making inappropriate jokes.
About what?
Things like your title says, the Un-Jokable.
Like what? Give us an example, because I didn't hear.
I'm not with that. I'm sorry.
I didn't hear the jokes that he made, so give us an example of the types of unjokable jokes he made when he came back from Africa.
I remember slight hints towards pedophilia, and I said, when you watch all this stuff, you get to start seeing the markers. It's always a desensitization that they do first.
Yeah.
They start to make jokes about it, desensitize, then it skips people, skips comics, skips movie genres and things like that. And then they have their person who they have to bust it wide open so that everybody will think it's okay to make those kind of jokes. So in regards to the last caller, I completely disagree with her. As far as a basic ass human being, we collectively, socially, and everything, we draw the freaking line at pedophilia. So you can laugh and think it's fun. Everybody think that every other joke is your brand of humor. No, that is not a brand of humor. That is disgusting, and that is what we're labeling it. We're not going to let these people make the definition of what we know as human beings to be freaking disgusting, insensitive, and just not funny. Yes, over time, people allow themselves to become desensitized. That's what happens.
Yeah.
People allow themselves, oh, it's kind of funny. Yeah, girl. But if that was her child, if something like that were to happen to her child, no joke.
Yeah.
It's not funny anymore. And it doesn't just count when it comes to your child. It counts with everybody's children. So we're not going to let them blur the line, draw the line. No, collectively, as basic humans, you ain't got to be no up in the sky, all enlightened individuals to know that's dead ass wrong. And that is where we draw the line. They take all the lines away. Okay, now you want to get up there and make jokes about children? We draw the line.
Okay.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I appreciate you calling in. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Tonya. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay. All right. So, listen, we have, the phone lines are open. I want to hear from somebody who thought the special was funny, I want to hear your reason for why you thought it was funny, why you resonated with it. I want to hear from a person who can explain why they feel a joke is just a joke. And so when this last caller was speaking, there was something that kind of dawned on me when she said that in Hollywood or Hollyweird, that they are pushing this pedophilic theme. You know, I was trying not to say certain words, but that caller said pedophilia about 5, 6 times. So the YouTube crawler is going to find the words now anyway. So one thing that dawned on me is that, because I had to think, and I'm going to present this to you all. Is there a theme of normalizing the attraction towards children? Is there a theme that's normalized? Not just conspiracy-wise, and I had to think, and what I thought about was the fashion industry, magazines, etc. You're on the air live, so hold on for just one moment. Make sure your computer's turned down, and I'm going to grab you in 1 second. In the fashion industry and in the skincare industry, they're using 15-year-old girls. In Victoria's Secret, they were using 15-year-old models from Brazil and places like that. So that nowadays, we don't even know what a grown woman looks like. So that when you see a woman who has, the little creases or whatever that come along with being of age, that you're like, ugh, what's wrong with her? She's old, she's beat up, because we're used to normalizing our image of what a woman's beauty looks like through a 15-year-old girl's skin. And so you all are talking about Disney now. So you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Aveline.
Hi, Aveline. Hi. Okay.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. So go ahead.
Yeah, I did find the whole special funny.
I need you to speak a little louder because it's going in and out. I need you to speak a little louder.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, that's much better. Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, I did find the special funny.
Okay.
I guess I'm a 90s baby. I'm so used to seeing provocative jokes.
Yeah.
That touch that sensitive topic.
Yeah.
I didn't find nothing wrong when it came to the certain things he says. He basically said what a lot of people were thinking.
He said things that a lot of people were thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, people might not say it out loud. I'm not talking about the pedophilia part when he said he would rather shoot. I forgot the kids from Home Alone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exact. Okay, so another joke that he told, thank you for reminding us of that. Another joke he told was about Macaulay Culkin. He was like, he doesn't believe that the boys were actually molested by Michael Jackson because Macaulay Culkin said that Michael Jackson didn't touch him. And he was like, Macaulay Culkin he was like, come on, have you seen Macaulay? He was like, if I'm going to touch a kid, I would touch him. Right? Because Macaulay Culkin apparently is so good looking. And I was like, so go ahead.
Yeah, basically, I'm used to provocative jokes, people talking on sensitive topics. And then when you joke about these stuff, it brings light to certain things people really need to fix. When it comes to pedophilia, especially in the black community, people are you see all these people around us, they're like, okay, it's not fair for him to be joking about this stuff. But in reality, you're saying you're saying he's not supposed to joke about this stuff, but do you take care of your family members that's actually being violated in your house? You're focusing on things that he can't pass laws to protect children. He can't actually protect children. By him talking about it.
You feel that making a joke saying, well, at least they got touched by Michael Jackson, he could go to school saying Michael Jackson sucked my dick, you think that is going to inspire a family member to assist the people in their family who are being harmed?
I'm not saying if they're gonna help family members to stop it. What I'm basically saying is that people are focusing on his joke so much to the point where when you really look at it, these people are not doing anything to protect the people in their family.
How do you
Even people
know?
that's actually,
How do
yeah,
you know what people are doing in their homes to protect their family members? This is bizarre.
base. I'm gonna like say like when it comes to the black community, even me myself, I've been through like as a young like when I was a younger girl, I've been through that situation. People people are more focused on what people are saying than actually doing action to protect their own family members. Especially like in the black
Yeah,
community, people
so
always ignoring their daughters, even if their daughters come up to their mother, their father, they don't do anything to protect them.
yeah, well, I would actually come on the flip side of that. And I would say that the people who make light of those situations are the people who are more likely to not take abuse seriously in their own home. The people who make jokes about it are the ones who's like, she's okay. Well, if she didn't like it, she would have spoken up about it sooner. Well, at least he had money. He bought her shoes and stuff, even though he was a grown man and she was only 12. It's like I would think that the people who are laughing at those jokes are the ones who are not doing anything about it in their families. And that the people who are sensitive to those jokes are the ones who are doing things about it in their family because they have a zero tolerance policy. I can't imagine that a person who is like, you know what, this joke is not funny, is going to be the same person who's going to turn around and be like, oh well, he's touching you, that's funny. I just don't think that
Yeah.
those are the same people.
Yeah. Even when you look at like a lot of stuff you're saying, if you look at like when you like we're hearing a lot of these like Michael Jackson comment with the whole pedophilia thing, when you read these comments, what he's saying is what people are writing in these comments. When it comes to
Okay.
pedophilia, when it comes to women being raped, being violated, when
Right.
you read these comments, that's what you. It's not something he says. Oh, I came up with it. It's me. It's him. He wrote it. He's like, okay, yeah, I just went to bed and woke up and I came up with the story. But all you have to do is scroll these Instagram comments, Twitter comments. It's already
Right.
written.
But let me ask you
So
this
for people to
question.
make it, to put the blame on him to make it like, to make it seem like, okay, everybody's perfect, that's ridiculous.
Let me ask you
That's what
this
I'm trying to
question.
say.
Who do you think has more power with what it is that they say? A person at Walmart screaming about racism, or the president of the United States screaming out about racism? Who do you think has more power? A person in a Walmart parking lot with a megaphone, or behind the register saying it, or the president of the United States? Who do you think has more power?
It's the president.
Okay, another question. Who do you think has more power? A person with no profile picture, with no real name on the internet making some sort of trolling comment, or a multi-million dollar megastar with a platform to reach millions of people? Who do you think has more power?
When it comes to words, I can get it to Dave Chappelle. But
Okay.
what you're missing is that by even like even if he didn't say that, it doesn't mean not all these people that's putting these comments online are not doing that at home. You know
Well,
what I'm saying,
well,
right?
you know what? Well, this is the thing. The people who are making these comments online, we don't know who they are. We don't know whether or not they have 10 accounts and they're operating from Russia and they're posting the same thing over and over on many sites. I put up an image on. I have a political page. For those of you who don't know, I have a political page on Facebook that I run called Voice of the Voiceless. And if you come over, you'll see the things that I post. So I put up a post where there was a room full of Russian bots. They had servers, they had all of these mobile phones, and they were just cranking out comments by the hundreds of thousands per second. So when these people are making these comments, we don't know who they are. However, when a megastar like Dave Chappelle co-signs on how Macaulay Culkin looks effable because he's, and how young boys should be proud that they had Michael Jackson suck their dick. You know, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. Who you are matters. The size of your platform matters.
Yeah, but somebody holding up a microphone and saying, okay, nobody rapes children, it's not going to stop somebody that's actually a pedophile that has the urges to rape children to stop.
Well, you know what? I will say this, right? Because you know that I
Sad to even say that, but it's the truth. That's what
well,
I'm
you know
trying to
what?
say.
And this is what I'll say to that. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I know that words matter. Martin Luther King, when he got up on the podium and he spoke about the things that he spoke about, he moved and he rallied people into action. That's what his words did. So Dave Chappelle using the bully pulpit to normalize pedophilia is a lot different than Dave Chappelle getting up there and rallying people to a cause. Like, look at how it was Hannibal Buress, because all of these women have been coming out about Bill Cosby for 15 to 25 years. It was when the comedian Hannibal Buress came out and started making some quote unquote jokes against Bill Cosby. That's when people really were like, wow, you know, they got rallied. So what is it that Dave Chappelle is actually rallying people towards or for? He has the bully pulpit, he has the microphone, and he has the ability to hypnotize millions of people with his words. What is he rallying them towards? So there are some people who will joke. I'm not saying that he's going to stop people from being pedophiles, but what he could do is inspire people. My thing is about to die. I've got to plug in real quick. He could inspire people to do the Me Too, to stand up and fight. Look at what happened with the R. Kelly situation. It wasn't until Ava DuVernay made that special that people really started taking this stuff seriously with R. Kelly. So we have power. We have power. You know, it's like I'm not gonna continue to preach to you. I wanted to hear somebody's point of view. You've stated your point of view. You also said that you were born in the 90s, but the 90s were like 20 years ago.
Yeah. It just, I just feel like when he jokes about it, whether it was like how people viewed it was wrong, it was whatever the situation was. The thing about it, like these people, pedophilia in Hollywood has been happening. By
Okay.
him joking about it or not joking about it, it's still going to be there, unless somebody actually in Hollywood actually shed light on these pedophiles, so they actually get help and also save these children that's going through that.
Yeah, and so I understand that. And so my point is this, right? His jokes normalize it. It shaves the edge off. It takes the shame out of it. Because you have a grown man up there admitting that he would have raped Macaulay Culkin, that he himself would have raped Macaulay Culkin if he had to choose, because Macaulay Culkin was a good-looking boy. So who does that empower? Does that empower the people who have been victimized, or does that empower the people who are victimizers? We're talking about children here, people who cannot consent. You're making jokes about, not in an empowering way. You're making jokes normalizing the abuse of children.
I understand your point.
Well, listen, Aberdeen, right? Thank you so much for calling in.
Hey, no problem. I really enjoy your shows.
Thank you. You're so
Thank you.
sweet. Thank you for calling.
Okay, thank you for taking my call.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Okay. So Colby is saying y'all need to watch it again. So Colby, why don't you call in and put your voice where your mouth is? Let's hear what you have to say. Let's hear what you have to say.
Hello,
Yeah, hi, you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
this is Mimi West.
Hi, Nini. How are you? So, you said Mimi or Nini with an N or M?
As in Mary.
Okay, so Mimi. All right, Mimi. So, which side of the discussion are you on? Are you for the jokes, neutral, against the jokes? What are your thoughts?
I'm against the joke, but I also found that the special was funny. However, when it came to what he was talking about, as far as once he said something about Macaulay Culkin, I pretty much fast forwarded to when I thought he might have been done. But I want to elaborate on what one of your callers spoke about. She was not so far as the cloning and things like that, but normalizing pedophilia.
Yeah.
That is what's happening. And you're speaking with someone who has, back when I was in high school, I started doing promotions and things like that.
Yeah.
So I've been around that industry, and Dave Chappelle is a little suspect because I feel like he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. Yes, the young lady that just called previously, he did say some things that people were thinking so far as, it came to other subjects, but pedophilia, no one was thinking that it's something that we should be joking about. And I don't know, she kept using the word provocative. I don't know if she meant to vex or if she meant as in sexually provocative, because children are not supposed to be put in any category of being provocative. But um, I'll say Dave Chappelle is around that industry. He seems as if he's trying to drop a little bit of hints, but at the same time, he is making jokes in order to perpetuate and to normalize pedophilia. I saw at the very end he had pictures with Jay-Z and with Naomi Campbell, and
I'm
if you've been
sorry. You know what?
following
I'm so
Jeffrey
sorry. I'm
Epstein,
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I need you to just hold what it is that you're saying because I'm having a revolting thought in my mind that I just need to say out loud. So just hold that thought about Jay-Z and Epstein. Hold on for just one moment. I need to do a survey to the audience. I want to ask,
okay,
how many people here, let's see, you know what? I don't want to ask about you because I'm sure that you all will say none of us, right? How many of you out there thought that people were thinking about how good Macaulay Culkin looked as a boy and how effable he looked? So if you had to choose between any of the boys, that you would have chose to F Macaulay Culkin. Who thinks, if you think that there are people out there who are thinking that, put up the number 2. If you think people are thinking that, put up the number 2. And then I know you're not thinking it, but if you think people are thinking it, put up the number 2. And then I want you to answer what type of people, I was going to say who, it came out what. Who do you think is thinking that? What type of people do you think is thinking in this, what grown adult is thinking that Macaulay Culkin looked so affable as a child? Who? What type of people? This is what I want to know. So if somebody is saying that he's saying what people are thinking, yeah, he's saying what pedophiles are thinking. Because no adult in their right mind is going to look at some. God, Macaulay Culkin was such a cute little cutie with the whole, and his little, he was so precious, such a conniving, such a cunning little boy in his movies. And to think, oh yeah, he looked like somebody who I could put my penis inside of. Who would think that? I never had any thought.
exactly.
So when somebody says, oh, somebody says, oh, he says what people are thinking. Who was thinking that? Ugh.
Well, I'm talking about as far as it pertains to other topics. That topic, like I said, I fast forwarded past that because
So
he was
I
going
cut you off.
way too far.
Yeah, I cut you off. You were talking about Jay-Z and Epstein. So go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's got pictures at the end of the show with him with Naomi Campbell, various different stars. But if you know anything about Jeffrey Epstein, you know that Naomi Campbell ties into all that. She's been with Ghislaine Maxwell, so all these people have ties. They all know each other. They all play in the same pool, and some of them are co-signing it with not saying anything, and some of them are flat out co-signing it. So for him to even put the joke out there, like you're saying, to put that in people's minds, to even say that, that's what people of a certain sort are thinking. Dave Chappelle, now I have to sidelight you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to read a comment from somebody that I think is important. So, Tatiam says, that's why he says it's a gift to be molested by a celeb. He's seen kids get quote unquote benefits for hardcore abuse, so he justified it. You know what? That actually does make me side eye Chappelle. So would a child be
Yeah.
okay with, is it a blessing to say, oh, Dave Chappelle sucked my D? Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry for cutting you off again.
No.
But
I
how
was
do you
just
think Naomi
reiterating what you were
Campbell,
saying,
how do you
and
think
that's
Naomi Campbell
the
ties into all of this, though?
well. He just showed pictures at the end special with him with different celebrities, but a lot of those celebrities have Naomi Campbell was one of the celebrities. She ties in with Jeffrey Epstein as well as Alan Derkowitz and all of that, and then Ghislaine Maxwell. She's in one of the girls, Miss Jeffrey, the girl that's accusing Epstein. She's in one of her what do you call those things for the court? What do you call her statements to the court?
Oh,
So
like a
you
deposition?
know, she's tied into it. They're all tied into it.
Oh.
These people all play together, and they all know each other. So if you could, I could give you an example of a party right now that I went to when I was about 14 years old, newly 15, when I first started promoting. I had a fake ID and everything, and there were celebrities there, and one of them, Jay-Z. He was there. He had no problem talking to a 15-year-old. I'm talking about myself. He had no problem talking to other people there. I showed him my identification because he said, no, you're not 15. You too thick. I showed him my ID. He said, oh, age ain't nothing but a number. Age is a state of mind. So, this is how these people move. There were plenty of other people there. Plenty of other people there with people that were visibly 15, 14, underage. And nobody says anything. When they say something that the person has a little too much, but I implore everyone to watch the movie Open Secret, because if you watch that documentary, you'll see how far this rabbit hole goes and that they are trying to normalize it, and that Dave Chappelle is a part of some unspoken agenda in order to normalize these things. Children aren't able to make rational sexual decisions, especially not with adults. So Dave Chappelle, he's suspect now.
Oh, God. Thank you so much for calling in and giving your point of view. That just hurt me inside to hear a grown man. And about how old was Jay-Z at the time that you said he said this to you?
This was back when he first was like really blowing up, like about 96, 97, somewhere around there.
Okay. Somebody Google how
I
old
don't know.
Jay-Z. Google
I
how
don't
old
follow his
Jay-Z
age.
was in 97. All right. Well, listen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm disgusted right now. I'm disgusted. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love you, Tonya. Thank you for your topics.
I love you too. All right.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay. Okay. So listen. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. There are 301 people in here, and there's only 86 thumbs up. So go ahead and hit the thumbs up, and let's talk. So he was 27, 28. I find this just really sad. I find it really sad because on the one hand, so on the one hand,
Hello.
hi, you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hi, Tonya. My name is Erica.
Hi, Erica. So what is your comment about this whole Dave Chappelle business?
Oh my goodness. Where do I begin? Um, I think something really started like rising up in my spirit when
when the caller that agreed with everything called, the one that, is there feedback on your end?
No. Do you have feedback on your end?
Yeah, it's like, I can hear myself, but it's like,
Let me turn
I don't
away from the microphone.
know.
How about now? Is that better?
Let's see. Yep, way better.
Okay, go ahead.
When the 90s baby, I'll call her the 90s baby, she
Yeah.
called, and she was like pandering to this agenda, and it triggered me in a way that I just felt so disappointed, because I could tell that she might be first generation. Her parents did not sound like they were from here, which is the case with me.
Yeah.
And I'm a victim of sexual abuse. So it just made me cringe, and my spirit was just so broken by the fact that a black woman could in any way excuse any kind of advocacy or joking of sexual abuse towards
Yeah.
children or anyone.
Yeah.
And I initially wanted to call because the first caller made a statement saying, if you don't like it, don't watch. But as you were saying, there's a power and an energy towards words. Whether I hear it or not, it goes into the ethers, it goes into the collective consciousness, which is why people can normalize it and feel like, oh, it's just funny. And we all have a responsibility to raise the collective consciousness. And that's like probably my main and only point in all of this, is that we are responsible for our part in making the world better.
Yes.
And it's not acceptable to make any excuses for any kind of inappropriate behavior.
And then not only that, it's like by the time these quote unquote jokes started flying out, you were already watching it. You'd already clicked on it. And so I was caught in this and I was not expecting that from the beloved Dave Chappelle. I wasn't expecting that at all. So listen, thank you so much for
I'm sorry,
calling.
you said you didn't expect it from what?
The beloved Dave Chappelle. I didn't expect it from him. He was a beloved comedian to me.
I'm not surprised, because after he left Africa, or after he went on his hiatus, he knew that Hollywood, I call it, is like a cult.
Mm-hmm.
And in any kind of cult or in any kind of union, you have to pay to play. So he knew what he would have to do in order to come back. He was never a comedian that wore a dress. He never was like a lot of black male comedians who would have to feminize themselves.
Yeah.
So he had to find a different way in order to acquiesce to Hollywood and their rules, which was now promoting of the P word.
It's too late now.
I don't want to be a part of the West Crawl.
It's too late. We done already said it. Pedophilia. The video's going to be demonetized. I already know, so might as well speak freely.
No.
Go ahead and speak freely.
Well, he has to promote that agenda. So it's quite obvious that he's saying, okay, I'll sprinkle a little bit of this in it, I'll sprinkle a little bit of that in it. But what I truly feel is, what I feel like people or black people in the Hollywood community, they need to just be clear. If you're not with us, just openly say you're against us, because that way I'll know where I should give my attention to. That way I know I'm not going to watch Dave Chappelle because I'm going to be triggered. I personally didn't watch it, but just listening to you say 14-year-old cat, it literally, I felt something in my root chakra like shake and be disturbed. That's just because I'm a highly sensitive person, so I can feel how certain words trigger me in my spirit.
Yeah.
And if I knew, all I'm saying is people in Hollywood, they need to just be clear that they're not with us, so we can just ignore it, and people like me can avoid being triggered. And if you're not going to say that you're being responsible for uplifting us, then just let that be known. Other
Why?
races will gladly
They want your
promote him.
money.
They
Why
want
would they want your money? Why would he say I'm not with you, I'm against you when your dollars are
because
green?
but there are loads of unmelanated or white people and Thai people who will gladly give him their dollar. They're like, oh, he's a good boy. That's a good boy. Let me give him all my money. You know? So yeah, you
Okay.
don't need our dollar. He doesn't need it that badly.
Well, black people still contribute trillions of dollars to the economy each year. So
It's
listen,
true.
thank you
That is
so
true.
much for calling in and giving your point of view.
Thank you so much for calling me back. I appreciate it
Okay, have a great evening.
too. Bye.
Okay, so we're talking about this Dave Chappelle special right now. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. If you don't see the thumbs up button, close out the live chat area, click the thumbs up, and come back. We have 300 people on the broadcast right now, 101 thumbs up. The thumbs up matter for the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you go to my website, you'll see my book. The Book of Affirmation Self-Love is an affirmations book to help rewrite your subconscious programming. There are people who are saying that his jokes that it that they don't matter, they're just jokes, but no, words matter. Your mind is constantly receiving an information, and the subconscious mind does not have a sense of humor. This is how people are able to manifest great and amazing things, and this is also how really disturbing topics become normalized. So you are on the air live with Tonya. Give me just one moment. Make sure your computer's turned down low and that you speak to me through the phone. I just want to make this one statement and then I'll come right over to you. One of the things that really kind of stood out to me when the callers have been calling in is about this normalization of pedophilia and pedophilic desires, like how this young lady said, she went to a party and Jay-Z was there, and Jay-Z tried to hit on her when she was 15, and she told him her age, and he was talking about her thick body and stuff like that. It reminds me that I don't think we as citizens, I don't think we know what a grown woman looks like anymore. Because when Foxy Brown came out, Foxy Brown was 15. When these different singers come out, when these Victoria's Secret models are out there, I don't think we know what a woman's body looks like. I remember I was in the Dominican Republic and there was this Asian girl who looked at this girl who was like 9 years old. She had on a bikini. And the Asian girl said, "Oh my God, she has like the perfect body." And I was like, who, where? She was like, that girl right there, like, she is the perfect, like, everything is just perfectly proportioned. And I was like, she had a child's body. She didn't have hips or waist to hip ratio, any of that. She had a flat child's chest. And I was like, I don't think we understand and know. And I think that we're in a stage in society where we penalize women for looking like women, and we normalize the the universal look of the quote unquote womanhood of a girl. All right, so you're on live right now. What's your name?
Yeah, I called before, but I just wanted to make something clear. It's Abilene. Basically, I guess people thought I support reading the comments based on the call. I think people thought I support pedophilia.
I don't think
No,
anybody
in no
thinks that you
way.
supported pedophilia. No one. I don't think anybody.
Based on even I'm just like the comments.
You support
I'm
jokes. You support a person who was
like
joking
somebody
about
basically
pedophilia.
no, because somebody basically say, oh, in the comments said that, oh, I probably have a boyfriend that's a pedophile. Listen,
Really?
I do not. I'm yes, literally. I'm like
Okay.
I do not support that. I
Okay.
just hate the fact that a lot of these people that's commenting, they have selective outrage.
Well, you know what? It's since
Everybody's
since
looking at.
since since you want to call back and talk to Tanya, right? Let Tanya talk to you. All right?
Yes, yes.
So what it is that I'm gathering is that people did not advocate for you when you were a child and someone touched you. Am I right or wrong?
They don't have to.
Excuse me, I'm
I'm
asking you a question, Ab. What it
Okay,
is that I'm gathering is that people in your family did not advocate for you when you were a child and someone touched you inappropriately. Am I right or wrong?
correct.
Okay. So now your point of view is based from the experience of having people around you who did not advocate for you. And in that space, that unhealedness, you saw a comedy special, and in that comedy special there were jokes that were made that were inappropriate, and there was a part of you that laughed, and you had a bit of relief from that as a way, because listen, when it comes to Stockholm syndrome, in order for us to be able to survive, we have to love the person, even if the person around us is harming us. So if you were in an environment where you were not advocated for as a child and you still had to love those people, there's a justification that you had to make within yourself for that. So when you come back 10, 15 years later and you see a comedy special where there's a man making jokes about children being victimized, you laugh. You laugh. So of course,
Correct.
people didn't advocate for you and you still had to love them. So now you're like, okay, well, some of these people who are against these jokes, they're not advocating for the children in their life who are being victimized. What I can say is that you must seek healing for the broken parts. You must seek healing. I am sorry that people did not advocate for you. If I were there, I would have advocated for you. I am an advocate. I am an advocate against the abuse of children. I am an advocate.
Yeah, I understand. I go to therapy. I handle
Okay.
that whole situation when it comes to what I basically want to say is that people are just looking at the whole Dave Chappelle comment. Yeah, it's wrong what he said, but you go to like, it's not something that like, okay, it's just happening because of Dave Chappelle. When you go in Walmart, you go in all these Target, you go online shopping for swimsuit for kids. They have these provocative sexual swimsuit for kids that's underage.
Okay.
Why don't you have outrage for that for them to take it down? You're basically supporting pedophilia by you putting buying these baby suits that's basically sexual, and then even women, young girls that's under the age of 17 get raped, you don't say nothing. So of course the age is gonna lower, and they're gonna use that against you.
Who doesn't say anything? Who doesn't say anything? I'm telling, but you're talking about imaginary people that you have imagined. You don't know what people are saying or doing.
I'm not talking about
and listen,
imaginary
you're
people.
talking about
The
people.
reason I'm saying that,
Who are the people? Listen, I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you. We are having a conversation. Right, but listen to what it is that I'm saying.
I just want to,
You're
like, can I
talking-
please say what I have to say?
But I want you to
What I'm-
qualify. I'm going to let you say what it is that you need to say, but I want you to qualify.
I'm going to qualify what I'm saying.
Who are these people? Tell me, who are these people? Who are the people? Is there somebody on this call with you?
Okay, what I'm basically saying is that how can they market sexual underage swimsuits for kids unless somebody's buying it?
You know something? And I'll say this. Listen, I will say this to you right now.
Correct?
It was not your fault. Listen,
it, right?
it was not your fault. It was the adult's fault in that situation in your life where you were harmed by an adult. It was not your fault. It did not matter what you had on. I had to put you on mute because I need you to hear this, and I need everybody out there to hear this. It doesn't matter what a child is wearing. If a child is wearing a floss thong and topless, it does not matter. It does not matter. The person who is seeing that child in whatever flossy outfit that child has on, and if that adult is aroused by that, it's not that the outfit is sexual, it's that there's something going on with the thoughts of the adult, and it is not the child's fault. It is not the parent's fault who buys something that they think is cute for their child. As a matter of fact, children shouldn't have to wear swimsuits anyway. They shouldn't have to wear swimsuits. So you're back on the air.
Okay, if they shouldn't have to wear a swimsuit, why would you make the swimsuit look like adult swimsuits?
Listen, it doesn't matter
I'm just
what
being
the
saying.
listen. So what?
Why would
So
you make,
so
okay,
so this is see. I think
why
and you
would
see
somebody
and you
make a
say
swimsuit?
and you see that that's your interpretation that it's an adult looking swimsuit. As long as it's on a child's body, that is a child swimsuit. Period. You're coming from the space of being a person who has direct contact with feeling that children can be considered sexual beings. That is a reality for a person who has been molested, because they were for a person who was molested as a child, they were considered a sexual being when there was nothing sexual about them. It is the adult in that situation. Listen, even nudity is not sexual. This is why women advocate for, listen, even if I'm staying here nude with my legs wide open, I still must consent. I still must consent. Go ahead, I'm
I agree
listening.
with everything you're saying. I agree with everything you're saying, but little by little, you have to, in order for Dave Chappelle's joke to normalize something, they have to start somewhere, correct?
Can you tell me
Have to
one?
start
Can you tell
somewhere.
me one? Is
They don't
part
just,
of your
Dave
argument?
Chappelle joke came,
Part of your argument is that Dave Chappelle, that he didn't start this. Okay, can you name one person here who said
I'm
that
just
Dave
really
Chappelle
saying,
did
if
start
they
it?
have to start somewhere, they can't, Dave Chappelle can just normalize pedophiles.
Nobody said that he's single-handedly normalizing pedophilia. What I'm saying is that there's a lot of power in the voice of the powerful. There's a lot of power in the voice of people who have a lot of access to people. You know what happened? You know what happened? Listen, because I told you I'm an advocate. I advocated for that girl, Jasmine Island, when she was assaulted on the dance floor. So much so that YouTube came back and demonetized my entire channel. Okay? They demonetized my entire channel. And when I went to Twitter, I only have 78,000 people on my Twitter profile. I only have but you know what happened when I went to Twitter and I publicly called them out about the fact that I was demonetized. You know what happened? I had been working behind the scenes for 30 days. 31 days I worked behind the scenes quietly. When I went to Twitter, in a day and a half, when I spoke publicly, what happened? What happened? My channel was remonetized in hours. Hours. It took me 31 days silently. I came out to the public because there's power in the voice of people who have access to a lot of people. So even if there is pedophilia going on wherever, when a person has a voice to reach
you can't,
millions,
okay,
when a person has a
I'm
voice
just
to
saying.
reach millions, their impact is a lot different in the normalization thereof. And the fact that you call back to say that there were people in the audience who had these thoughts about you, right? Apparently, there's something that's going on inside of you that triggered something inside of you. Because now you're back on the line, still defending the fact that there are pedophiles out there. Yes. Yes.
So what I'm basically called to say is that is basically for people to be normalized to find that pedophilia is funny or not funny, whatever the situation is, they have to be conditioned.
Okay.
Can't just start with a joke for somebody to be okay. Yeah, it's normal. Haha, it's funny. It's normal.
Okay.
Either what you said about me, either you've been through it, one, two, or people are conditioning for you to think this is normal. So what I'm basically saying is that it starts with swimsuit, how people dress kids, how
Really?
people react to people actually that tells their stories about pedophilia, how they react to it.
Really?
People can't just The
So so
internet, you can't
so
get away with stuff if people don't do it. If people
those sexy
ignore it.
little bikinis, those sexy little bikinis that they're putting on these little children.
If people
That's
really,
enticing the men, huh? Those sexy little
if
bikinis
people,
with the little adult styles, that's enticing the pedophiles, right?
not only enticing pedophile, but it's also normalizing people to see nothing wrong with it, even if you're not a pedophile. It's still normalizing regular people that are not pedophiles to be like, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not gonna trigger nobody. That's not gonna do
Do
nothing.
you think that those cute little,
If people were really
those
worried
tight
about
little
Hollywood,
bikinis, do you think those tight little bikinis on those little girls are
I'm just saying,
triggering these
if
grown
people were
men?
really worried about what's going on in Hollywood, would they even bother watching half of these movies? They know pedophiles in Hollywood. Why they watching movies?
Why are they watching any movie?
That's what I'm saying. Pedophiles all in Hollywood. Why don't they shut it down?
Okay.
Half of these people that's committing these crimes, why people are still supporting them? Why is it still up there? It has to been already normalized.
Well, you know what? I think the thing that has been normalized is the see, I remember when I'm going to make a biblical reference because I remember when I was back in the days when I cuz I used to be a Christian many years ago. Back in the days I remember I was in this church and the person who was up in the front of the church was saying, "You know, if you really want to get to people, if you really want to sway them over to the other side, right? um instead of telling them, oh damn, I forgot what it is that they said. So basically they were like, oh, you don't tell them that there is no devil, you don't tell them that there is no this or there is no sin or is this any other, you tell them that there's no time, that they got time. So that it's the in thinking, oh, there's no devil, I got time, so they can do whatever it is that they want to do and be able to then turn around and then at the end of it all then pray and repent, right? I don't think it's the normalization of pedophilia that has people still supporting Hollywood. I think it's the normalization of the quieting of their voice, so that you come around at it from quite the question: is there a devil? Is this person telling the truth? Is this real? Is this not? And that's where the power comes in from doubt. The power comes in from doubt. So, is there any documented case where there are people who were believed? Because, yes, there are rumors that Hollywood has some issues, but there's nothing documented. There's no proof. There's no proof. And in the cases where there was proof, the person was arrested and that person was taken out. But there's no proof that the whole of Hollywood is corrupt and that this is what it is. There are people who tell their story, but then there are other people who come out and contradict them. So that the power is not in the pedophile, but the power is in doubting that the person was touched by a pedophile.
I agree with everything you say. I just want to say, this whole situation, when it comes to conditioning, people see it all the time. People see people going through some stuff, whatever the situation may be, they ignore it. In Hollywood, you know how many people came out and say as children, they've been violated. Nobody, people hear their story, they're like,
And
oh, you're probably lying. It's not true. It's not this. It's not that you don't hear it. It's there. It's there.
okay.
But people still support it.
And you know what? And so part of the issue is that there are people who are at varied levels of being asleep or awake. Not everybody is awake. Not everybody is awake. And like I said, there's power in the people who have a platform. So when people come out and they say, you know what, this happened to me, There are other people who come out and contradict them. No, this didn't happen. He's lying. She's lying. This never happened. And then also there's the misogyny that exists in there too, where women in general are not believed. But there are strides that we're making. We have an entire Me Too movement. We have an entire movement where there are people who have now begun to come out and say, you know what, enough is enough. Enough is enough. So people are waking up. But the way to wake people up is not to be like, ha 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 ha, go back to sleep. It doesn't matter anyway. He didn't start this. Go get your slumber. The way to wake people up is to keep the pressure on and to keep people waking up. No, the same jokes that went over in the 80s are not going to go over now. Because before, back in the days, gay people were these outskirt people on the fringe. But now, we know gay people in our family. We got transgender people in our family connected to us. We have a gay person running for president. So no, the same jokes about quote unquote FAGGOTs in the 80s is not going to go down the same way that it did before, because toxic masculinity is getting stamped out. It's getting stamped out, and the rise of the feminine is upon us right now.
Okay, well, thank you for taking my call.
And I want to say this last thing to you before you get off, Ab. A sexy, quote unquote, sexy bathing suit on a child's body is not triggering any person who doesn't already have a sickness inside of them. It's their sickness that causes the trigger, not the child. Not the child. Because you sound like you're from the Caribbean.
Yes, yes, I am correct.
Okay. So in the Caribbean, children walk around without clothing when they're young. They walk around barefoot. They go to the beach. They swim naked. Ain't no Pampers on the beach. They swim naked. But who is the person that's responsible to for a child to be off limit? Because nudity cannot, a bathing suit cannot be any more sexy than nudity. But when it comes to a child, when it's a child's body, there's nothing sexy about it. And for a lot of people, so Dave Chappelle is talking to an audience of a lot of broken people, people who they themselves have been molested, people who, and then you know what, the cycle continues. Because people who have been molested, they've been programmed, especially when they're molested underneath the age of 7. They've been programmed into feeling that a child can be sexy. Aberdeen, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, thank you for taking my call.
All right.
Bye.
All right. So, I see that the comments are going crazy over there. We are at 1:42. You know, we don't broadcast for more than 2 hours. So we are going to be wrapping this up in about 20 minutes. We got 18, but we're gonna 15 more minutes. All right. Listen, if you have been the victim of childhood sexual assault, get therapy, and get therapy to the point that that brokenness is healed. It's just,
leave your message for.
it's not good enough to just be like, oh, I've been to therapy. Oh, I went to therapy. You know, the quality of therapy, the amount of therapy, the quality of the therapist, and what it is that you've done in those therapy sessions. Like we were talking to a person on the broadcast the day before yesterday, and she was in a very abusive relationship, and we were like, okay, well, you must get therapy. And she says, oh, I've gotten therapy. But when we really dig down deep into it, she went to 2 or 3 sessions 10 or 15 years ago, and she didn't talk in any of the sessions. So what is the quality of the therapy that you're in? What is the quality of the therapist? What is the connection that you have with the therapist? What is the skill level of the therapist? And what is your participation in your own healing? Continue to get therapy until you are healed. Period. Period. Point blank. As simple as that. As simple as that.
The person you've reached.
All right. So listen, phone lines are open for one more phone call. And so if you were trying to get through and you were not able to get through and you had something that you wanted to add, now is your chance to call and get through and add what it is that you want to add. Go ahead and thumbs up the video. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Name is Tony.
Hi. Oh, our first male caller. I even forgot that there were men out there that watch my show. Hey, Tony, my namesake. How are you, sweetie pie?
Friday.
All right. So, what is your contribution to the conversation about Dave Chappelle?
Hey, so I'm a big Dave Chappelle fan. I always found him to be funny. I love his comedy when he, before he took his hiatus and stuff. I'm just telling you so you get a background on him. So usually whenever he gets a new video or something out, I try to watch it because he tends to make me laugh 99% of the time. I did not watch the Netflix special on Netflix as I don't subscribe to Netflix, but I did catch about, I think they did like 2 minutes, whatever that amount of time it was when he was talking about Michael Jackson and the pedophilia or that area, except I don't remember hearing the part about Macaulay Culkin, but I remember most of the rest. And so for me, I'm gonna tell you, I was laughing my head off. I'm laughing, and I'm thinking it's funny. I'm like, yo, man, David, he's back. He's this, that, another thing. But at the same time, because I'm 56, but at the same time, in my mind, I could hear myself, talking to myself in your mind, saying, what is Dave talking about? That's kind of whack. That's kind of, what's he, and I'm laughing because the jokes are funny as a comedian, him being a comedian. But at the same time, I remember I could hear, you can hear your subconscious, whatever part of your brain, just telling you, yo, that's whack. And, and then when he made the comment, sir, I'm not going to rebroadcast, but he made, because I'm rather sure they know what I'm talking about. When he made
No, go ahead, say it.
I don't remember them off the top of my head, so I don't want to misquote anything.
Okay, so your phone is muffled and they're having a hard time hearing you. Okay.
Is that better?
Is it better? I'm going to turn him up. Say something now, Tony.
Is that better?
Is it better? Put up the number 4 if it's better. Put up the number 4 if it's better. So go ahead and talk so they can hear you.
Okay. So I'm thinking in my mind, well, Dave is tripping. That's kind of sick.
So listen. They're saying that you got to go all the way back and repeat because they didn't really hear what it is that you said before that. So basically, he was saying that he's a Dave Chappelle fan. He's enjoyed his comedy from back in the day, so he tries to support him. But he doesn't have Netflix. But he did see the joke about Michael Jackson, and he said that he was laughing. But when he was laughing, it was a part of his subconscious mind. I was like, wait a minute, what is it that I'm laughing at? This is not really funny. This is kind of whack. Did I paraphrase you well?
Yeah. So, and I don't know what show it was on that I was watching. They were just showing a clip of it because I guess that started the controversy. But I didn't catch that it was a controversy because I just thought that they were showing it. And I'm thinking, oh, that's pretty whack. But at the same time, like, man, this guy's funny, but I don't know if that was something I would have talked about. Or, because like kids, if I make a joke with you, you can take it. You can come back and say something about me. We're adults. We can handle it. And even if I hurt your feelings, you hurt my feelings, we're you know what I'm saying? We're adults. But when it comes to kids, everybody, it's almost 100 rule. Like kids are off limits. They need to grow. They need to mature. They need to get to be adults. And we don't need them one way or the other.
Yeah. So some people are still having a hard time hearing you. So I'm going to subtitle it with words. So basically, he's saying that children are off limits, that, he heard the jokes and there was a part of him that was like, nah, this is not really funny, and that children should be off limits, that there should be no joking about the victimization of children. Did I quote you correctly?
Yeah, and plus, even if this victimization is going on with another adult, you kind of, I don't want to take away a comedian's right, because we understand comedians, they're famous for making making jokes out of pretty much anything, and that's I would never take their freedom of speech or right to do that.
Uh-huh.
But in this situation, I would have, err on the side of caution because we don't know who's watching this. That's another thing. Who is watching this? How many people have families watching this with their kids there? Maybe not the little kids, but kids that are old enough to understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
And now, if Mr. Chappelle was trying to enlighten us in an indirect way, hey, this is what's going on in Hollywood. If I come out and tell you, they'll attack me. But if I come out and put in my comedy, you can hear it and know it. It's that and the other thing. I applaud the effort, but I'm thinking, wow, I probably wouldn't have done it. But who am I to criticize him? Because Dave Chappelle doesn't criticize me, so I'm not going to go and go in after him. I don't want to play both sides of the fence because we're walking a fine line here. You don't want to take away a person's freedom of speech, but at the same time, I don't want to. If I'm in a fight with the devil, I don't want to give him ammunition.
What does that mean? How does that relate to what we're talking about?
You're talking about here. This is clearly the devil trying to influence pedophilia throughout the country.
Okay.
So you can't see that. Stevie Wonder can see that. That's, what I'm saying? This is clearly, like people have been saying, trying to normalize it like it's okay. It's not okay. And it's good that you're on live saying it, that it's not okay. Screw YouTube if they demonetize your channel. It doesn't matter. It's more important that you get it out there.
Yeah, well, the video will definitely be demonetized. We didn't said the word pedophile one too many times on this broadcast. So,
but that's what the joke was about. So it's not like you're making it up. We're not blaming anything on Mr. Chappelle that didn't happen. We're not making stuff up and saying he didn't. This is what he said, and so we're just commenting. We have a freedom and the right to commenting on what he said. We're not condemning. I don't hate Dave Chappelle because he said it. I'm not going to, I'll probably watch some of his videos in the future. But in my mind, because in my mind, some things are right and some things are wrong. When you hear something that's wrong, you tag it as wrong. Creflo Dollar, I don't know where people think about him, but he said something once and I've always remembered it. He said, when you hear people say something that's sinful or that's wrong, don't just let it go. He said, say in your mind, that's wrong, or say it out loud, that's wrong, so that your mind, your subconscious, tags that as wrong. He said, if you don't, then it'll tag it as normal, and that's what starts to build up over time.
Yeah, well, you know what? I definitely I co-sign that you cannot come into your mind. However, even saying that's wrong, even saying that's wrong is not powerful enough because by the time that you say something is wrong, you are already internalizing the idea. So that's what people will notice inside of my book. In this book right here, the Book of Affirmation, Self-Love, which is available on my website and on Amazon. It's an affirmations workbook to rewrite your subconscious programming, to completely change your programming. And so there are the statements are very strategically written. There are no negative statements in there. Because by the time you say, I don't want a big pink balloon, what happens when you say that? The big pink balloon is pictured inside of your mind. So this is why I'm saying we got to rebuke things that we're not feeling. And this is why I didn't continue listening to the special, because I think that the special is particularly dangerous because, like you said, there are things in there that are funny. So you go along laughing, and then while you're laughing and your guard is down and your subconscious mind is open, then they throw in this very damaging, very toxic joke supporting pedophilia. And then you're already in the process of laughing, so you're in this state of jubilation and you're in this state of higher vibration because you're laughing and you're having a good time, and then that thought of pedophilia goes smash right into the back of your subconscious mind, and you're like, because he made this joke about R. Kelly, and he was talking about, in comparison to 14-year-old pussy, that 36-year that ain't no good 36-year-old pussy. And I'm like, why would he make a joke about a child, a 14-year-old child that's being assaulted, and be like, nobody would believe R. Kelly if he said that 36-year-old pussy is good because ain't no such thing as good 36-year-old pussy. This is what he said.
Right. I remember hearing that, him talking about R. Kelly.
So listen, we appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much, Tony.
You're welcome. Have a great evening.
Okay. All right, so the phone lines are officially closed right now because we only have a few more minutes before we wrap up this broadcast. Go ahead, there's more than 300 people on this broadcast. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Come over to my website or on Amazon. The links are inside the description of the video. And rewrite your subconscious programming. The thing that I'm learning more and more is that people who are asleep don't know that they're asleep. Just like in the Sixth Sense movie when the guy was like, I see dead people, but the thing is that they don't know that they're dead. And so people who are asleep don't realize that they're asleep. So each one of us, listen, if things are not going stellarly in your life, if everything is not going exactly where you want it to go, then you have to kind of take a look at yourself, the only common denominator in all of your experiences, and see how you can create a shift on the inside. And this right here is my own personal book. This is the book that I write in. This is the book, you can't see because it's bright, but this is my you can see it back. This is my personal book that I write in to help recalibrate me for success, for getting rid of negative self-talk, for being able to push forward even when I'm unsure, when I'm feeling fragile, when I'm feeling depressed or down. This is the book that I turn to myself because no matter where it is that you are in life, there's the next level. And in order for you to get to the next level, you have to have self-love. In order for you to get to the next level, you have to rewrite that subconscious programming. Because all of us have been programmed into thinking that we're merely human. When we're a lot more than that. And like you all were saying, words matter. I see that there are people who are saying they want me to talk about Paul Mooney. I do not have anything to add about Paul Mooney. This is why I'm not talking about him. I haven't done the research. It's like there are a lot of you out there who are like, oh, you wait for me to come and bring up topics. However, you can send me a message. There's for every day that exists out there are about 4 or 5 different topics that come down the pipeline. And I don't know about all of the topics that come through, so I depend on you all to send me links, send me some links. Like there's somebody who's talking about some documentary that says that it's been proven about the pedophilia in Hollywood. Send me some links. Come to my website, TonyaTKO.com. And if you... Oh, let me get that turned off. All right. So listen, I will see you all in the broadcast tomorrow or the day after, right? Oh, you all, listen, come to my website, TonyaTKO.com, go to the shop area, sign up for my mailing list. When you download the free Relax MP3, you get the MP3 for free to help you relax. If you're feeling angst, especially after a conversation like this, it has isocratic tones and binaural beats to be able to help get you into a state of theta, to be able to help you be able to get into that relaxed state, to get that subconscious mind open to the suggestions of being more relaxed. I also have a stress release MP3. I have an MP3 on forgiveness, which is really powerful for those of us that are working on needing to forgive. So my MP3s are hypnotherapeutic MP3s, which work perfectly in conjunction with the work of a licensed therapist. So listen, on that note, we are at the 1 hour 58 mark. I thank all of you for coming out to this broadcast. I learned a lot of things during this broadcast, and I hope when all is said and done that we know that it's all love between us. Even if we call and we argue and we have different points of views and all of that, it's still all love. I love all of you, and I'm glad that you all help make the show better. All right? So we will talk in the next video. Thank you so much for coming out. Send me those links. Come to my website, TonyaTKO.com. Click on contact and send me the stories that you want me to cover. Send me some links. When you write me, send me the story with some links. Let me know what it is that's out there that you've seen, because it makes things easier, you know, especially while I'm on the road like this, because I'm on the road and I'm off of the RV park, so I'm on the road right now. I'm out in the desert. It's a little more difficult to do research when I'm off of the grid like this. So I depend on you to be able to supplant me with information, all right? So if you know a good video with some great information with the story that you want me to cover, pass it on along to me. All right, Tonya TKO, and I am out. TonyaTKO.com. Peace.